We are about to illustrate the new lens distortion correction tools available in Autopano. With Autopano 2.6 come new lens distortion models, which allow us to adapt to a much wider range of hardware in a more precise and efficient way. These few examples will help you foresee the possibilities these new features are offering. We used to be unable to stitch its first example accurately. These pictures have indeed been shot with a 14mm lens, known to be generating a lot of distortions. Moreover, the pictures are composed of a recurring pattern, making the stitching even more difficult. Let's stitch the panorama with the old lens distortion correction model. We notice that every picture are not stitched with each other. Using the control points editor, let's add control points in the relevant areas and remove bad links which have been created due to the recurring pattern. Pictures are now correctly stitched to each other. But we can still see some stitching mistakes here and there. This is due to the fact that the previous lens model was only able to handle the barrel and pincushion effects, whereas the lens we're using here creates more complex distortions. Now, let's pick the second-degree lens model in the optimization setting and optimize the panorama again. The result is now much more satisfying. Notice that the RMS rating dropped, and the steel bars are much more accurately stitched than before. We can also see that Autopano bent the pictures in a more complex way, the lens model being even closer to the actual lens behavior. There is an automatic mode if you wish to let Autopano choose which lens model to use according to the pictures. Autopano stitches the following example automatically in a satisfying way. However, if we take a closer look, we can see that the pictures don't perfectly match. We can improve the outcome by looking at the way Autopano bends the pictures in order to stitch them together. The Layers tab at the bottom of the Panorama's editor shows, for each picture, the EXIF information given by the camera and also the information processed by Autopano in order to bend the picture. We can notably see the computed focal as well as the distortions coefficients. The computed focal lengths are here all identical, while we know that it can vary between each shot because of the autofocus, for example. In the optimization setting of the control points editor, we can force Autopano to work out focal length of each pictures independently. In this case, we will tell Autopano to log the lens distortions coefficients in order to modify only one parameter at a time. After another optimization, we notice that Autopano found slightly different focal length for each picture. Notice that the RMS rating dropped and the stitching is much more convincing. Our last example also involves a short focal length. So let's select the second-degree lens model and detect the panorama. The panorama is correctly stitched, although we can see strong misalignment in the corner of each picture. Here, the issue comes from a slight shifting between the lens and the camera's sensor. This shifting is shown in the Layers tab under the Offset column. AutoPano is able to compute this offset and take it into account during the optimization automatically. Select the optical center option in the optimization setting and optimize again. Notice that AutoPano found non-negligible offset values and that the panorama is almost perfectly stitched.